Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'll be talking about Flask API. What is the Flask API? It's basically the kind of a container where we can actually implement our API and put it over there as a Flask, and then it will serve as an API. So this is basically definition of the Flask. Now how we can implement that, let me go through the Visual Studio Code. Let me take you there. So let's come to the point. And as you can see that I have already created the file. So Flask activities, so in these activities what I'll be defining is like the get activities and the post activities. These two methods I'll be talking today, and later on in the next series of the video I'll be talking about the put and delete activities. So yeah, so let's start with that. So this is the file, and let me start with the requirement.txt. So what is the requirement is the Flask and the Pandatex. So these are the two libraries which is required for the doing the Flask API. So obviously the Flask is basically for the Flask application, and the Flask libraries, and the Pandatex is basically I'm kind of using for the creating the class for the session variables, and then under that I'll be importing the base model and other activities I am doing it. So I'll be talking this Pandatex later on, but yeah, as of now for this Flask, these are the two implementation we are using it. So let's come to this point. So as I already mentioned, I'll be taking this I'll be copy and pasting from the test.py, which has already created it to save the time, because if the video will be lengthy, you won't be able to cover up in the shorter time. So let's start with that. So I'll be start with the what are the basic libraries which is required for that. So yeah, so here if you can see here in this library, basically three libraries have imported it. Obviously the Flask in that Flask, what is the use of this Flask JSON file and request, and what is like in the Flask, this is for the application. JSON file is to converting the string to the JSONs. Request is for the handling the request and response scenario, and abort is for the whenever is wanted to abort the session or abort the application when the validation error is happening, or any error is happening, then in that case it will get aborted. The Pandatex is obviously, I mentioned, base model. I will be importing it, and I will be doing the validation error through the Pandatex, and obviously from the typing and the import list I will be doing that. Now I will be creating the object of the Flask API Flask. So here I will do that, and again I'll be creating the class. So under the class, what I'm doing is in the class, this is the name of the class I have added it, and this is the base model I have added it. Now in the class I have created the name, location, and duration of the minute. What is the use of this? So basically it is used when we are doing the post activities. We are storing in the session. You can store in by creating some storage or anywhere. Since it is very basic classes, I'm just storing into session variables. Like during the session it will be active, so that the way I'm storing it. Obviously when the advanced topic I'll be taking, I'll be storing into some location, and then I can showcase that how we can actually connect to the some storage area. So that is one. Now this is the session list. What I'm doing is this is the list of the this is a variable of type list. So in this variable, whenever you are doing the post activities, it will get stored over there. So and as in the form of the string. So that is one. Now I'll be taking this post activities. So what I'm doing in the post activities, like I'll take you through the. So in the app, this is the object of the Python Flask app, and this is the route which is defined. In the route it means like when we're giving the local host and or the default IP 127.0.0.1. So slash activities, then it will understand, okay, on that route the post activities will work on that. Otherwise if I'll only give the slash, it means it will only work on the default type or local host. So this is one, and this is the function which is created, and this is the method we define it, like what is the method we are going to perform with this function. So here you can see that I did try and accept. In the try and accept, this activity is basically accepting the JSON data, where so when we are going and doing the post activities, under that we are passing the JSON data as a body, so that it will accept it, and under the activities it will dump the model as a string. So model.dump is basically for the dumping as a string the JSON data, and this string this session list will actually append with whatever the string into the activities as a string. Now and after that it will return the dumped data, the string data, into a JSON format. So it means like basically the format is JSON, but the only thing is the type is string. So it is converting into the JSON and then it is returning, so that it will be easier for us to understand that. Now this is the validation error. It is giving that when we are facing any error or any validation issues are there, so it will throw an error. So that is one. Now come to the get method. So in the get method, what we are seeing, you can see that on the default IP it will work on that, and it will start fetching on that. So this is one, and under the function, this is the JSON.stringify. So what it does, it is taking all the data from the session list which is already stored and converting it to the JSON, and then sending back to the user whenever we are doing the get activity, get method. And this is the way we generally run it. So you can run it directly, or you can just mention it app.run localhost 3000. So what I'm doing is I'm just mentioning this is the host and this is the port you need to run on that. So let me save that and let me start with the terminal. So let me come to the new terminal. So under the new terminal, let me just activate my environment, Python environment. So as you can see that this is my Python environment. I need to activate it. So before that you just need to run the pip command. So you just need to let me just first activate the Python environment. Once it is activated, I need to give the pip install --r. So this is the command to first run the requirement.txt. Since I already done that, so I don't require to run that. So that is one, and again then after that I need to let me run that function. Let me run that Python. So as you can see that this is running on the default IP and the port number 3000. So let me just copy this and I'll just come to this point. So let me just paste it over here. So as you can see, there is no data. So let me come to the postman. As you can see here, this is the postman and I'm doing that get activity. So there is no data, so that's why it is giving the empty list. So let me just do the post activities. You can see here, this is the endpoint and this is the post and this is the body we are passing it, and this is the type of the data we are passing it. So name, location, and this is I'm passing. Let me just do the send activities. Once I send that, as you can see that this is the data I got in return on status 201. Now I'll do the get activities. Once I'll do the get activities, I'll be able to see this is the data. So this is how we perform the activities. Today I'll be talking about the put activities and the delete activities under the Flask API. So how we can create the API? Let's start with that. So let me go to the Flask API, Visual Studio Code. Under that, as you can see that I've already created these routes for the get and post activities. If you wanted to look for these videos, you can go to my description and you can reach out to my description and go to that video and get that activities done. And once you're done with that, you can come back to here and just look for the other activities, the boot and delete activities. So let's start with that. So obviously I have already defined about the requirement.txt, what is this requirement. So we are taking this class and panet it, and these are the libraries. I've already described what this library does, is what is the use of it, and what we are going to do that. So obviously here in the this get and put and delete activities, the things will be same. We have already created the object of the Flask, and this is the class we have defined it for storing the put data, post data, and put data if you wanted to update any data, so that it will be easy, so that we can store it during the session. You can also in the place of this class you can place some storage mechanism, so that you can whenever you are doing the post activities, it will get updated into the storage. This part I'll be taking later on, the later on in other videos. So since it is a basic understanding how we can start with the Flask API, how we can create this API, so that is why I am taking this. So in the other videos I'll be taking the storage, how we can actually perform all these activities, REST API activities, for the storage. So let's start with that. So as you can see that this is the class I've defined for the session storage, and this is the session list I've defined for the storing the data which is coming via post or put. So that is the way it will be activated. So here I have defined about the post activities, and this is the function, and this is the for the get method. So I'm returning the JSON file, JSON of this list data. So let me start with the put activities. So I'll be taking this data, put data. So let me put it over here. So as you can see here, what I'm doing is I'm using the object of the Flask API, and this is the route, and under the route what I'm defining is the activity slash the activity ID. It means what is the ID you wanted to update it, either ID 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So basically in my case what I'm taking is ID is the total ID is length of the data which is stored in the session list, and 012 is the index number of that, so that I can say that okay, index number 0 you can update it, or index number 1 you can update it. So that is the way, and this is the put method I'm applying it. And what I'm doing is here in the function, it is taking that if the activity ID is less than 0 or activity is less than session list. Obviously as I mentioned already, I'm taking this length as a length of the session, and 012 is the index I'm referring it. So if it is giving that, it will give the abort, and it will give that activity not found. So, and then after that I'm doing that accepting the activity class, where I'll be accepting the JSON data when that you will be asking for the update. And once it is done, what I'm doing is I'm just there is a update activity. With the updated activity, I'll be doing that model.dump. So model.dump is basically the attaching the whatever the data is already existing there and updating it. So once it is done, so what I'm doing is I'm updating the data with session of that particular index. So let's say if the activity ID is 0 or 1, so whatever the data is there, I'll be replacing with that index. So if there is activity that is 0, session of 0 will be updated with whatever the data you will be passing. And then after that the updated data will be converted into the JSON, and then put it back to you, so that you can see that okay, this is the data you have updated it. So this is how it is done for the updation. And this obviously this is the exception which is there for the whenever the validation error or some error is happening. So this is one. Now we'll come to the delete activities. Obviously here also the delete activity, what I'm doing is, let me explain that. So once you come back to the what I'm doing is, again I'm using the same object route, and the route, and again I have defined it, the activity slash what is the index of the activity you wanted to delete it, 0 1 2 3 of the index of the session list. And this is the method we are defining it. Now under the function, what we are doing, we are again checking the activity id 0 less than 0 or more than length of the session, which which I already mentioned about here. Like we are taking the index and the length of the session list for the identification and updation or deletion. So when it is not satisfying the condition, then we are aborting it. Then after that, what we are doing is we are doing the session list. This is the session list list, and under that we are doing the popping out. So whatever the activity id, either the index of 0 1, it is whatever the id we have passed it, we will be popping out. It means we are deleting out, and then we are storing it, and then and after that we are returning, okay, this is the data, it got deleted it. So that is how we actually perform the delete activities. So let me save this, and I'll showcase you how we can actually test this activities. So we have done with the implementation through the coding, and yeah, let's start with that. So let me just open the terminal, new terminal, and as you can see here, let me just activate my python env. This is my environment. I have already this is the activated. Now before that, since you are new to that, you need to install the requirement.txt. So for that you just need to write this command, pip install -r requirements .txt. So once you give the command, it will start downloading all the libraries by taking from the requirement.txt. Since I have already done that, so I don't require that. Now let me just run this file. So python flask activity.py. Once I run that, as you can see that this is the host I have defined it, and this is the port it is defined to run on that. So let me just take you through the postman, where I can showcase how we can perform all these activities. So once you come to the get and post activities, you can see here, as of now there is no data, it's an empty list. So let me add some data, like AI discovery India location. So let me just add it. Once I add it, you can see that this is the data, it got updated, and even in the get activities you can see that this data is already updated. Now let me add one more data. I'll just add it, Delhi, okay, and I'll just give I love AI discoveries, and then if I'll update it, so this will get updated. So if you come to the get activities, you can see all the data. So with the port, what we can do is the data will be we will be writing the data, but through the get we will be fetching the data. This is how we do that. Now when come to the put activities, obviously we just need to define what you wanted to, which index you wanted to update it, and that's why it is 0, and what you wanted to update it are the location and the duration in minutes. So let me just do the put activity. Once I do that, you can see that this is the data, it got updated, and once I come back, you can see here AI discoveries, and this is India, it will become USA and 30 minutes. So this is how the put activity will work. Now comes to the delete activities. Obviously again the activities, which index you want to delete it, so it would be 0. You can take any 0 1 2 3. So as of now I'm taking 0. Once I do that, I'll be giving this, it will delete this duration 30 minutes USA AI discoveries. Now when I come to the get activities and run through that, you can see this is the updated one, and it will only remain with the I love AI discoveries at Delhi location and duration is 50 minutes. So this is how the put activities will work on that. So yeah, this is how we perform most the core pillar of the REST API, how and we implement that. So please like, share and comment if you have any queries. Thank you.